there's a massive issue there, and it needs to be resolved with me frankly beating him up.
Chisanga Malata here with a man who needs no introduction. I'm talking about, of course, the YouTube sensation, new YouTube sensation. Nah, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm talking about interim UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. Tom, how you doing, mate?
Doing well, thanks, mate. Good to see you, as always.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I mean, twice in the space of, what, 2 weeks now?
Yep.
I saw you briefly in Las Vegas. I left the bar and I saw you were there with Oscar Willis. What transpired afterwards?
Yeah, it was good. We had a good night.
I won't delve into details there. We'll leave those in anonymity. All right, we're not here to talk about your Vegas exploits. We're here to talk about you and how things have been. Before I talk about what's next and what's to come, I want to rewind to UFC 295. I mean, it's been a few months since you became interim heavyweight champions in spectacular fashion. I mean, how's life been for you now?
The same, pretty much. I mean, I've had some stuff going on in the personal life, some stuff. Hey, my life is, I think to be good at anything, you need to be like a pretty mundane and boring person. Like, you need to have a strict routine, you need to stick to it. And that's how I've got my results, is by doing the same thing every day for years and years on end without wavering from that. Obviously there's things change here and there, like you know, I've changed bits of my training, I've changed stuff like that, but all in all, in the morning I train, I go home and rest, and in the night I train, and that's what I do.
Are you happy that things haven't changed so much? Because obviously we've seen so many stories of people who attain their goal. Obviously I know you haven't truly attained your goal, there's still another step to that, but they reach a pinnacle or they reach a mountain and then everything gets flipped 360. Are you happy that hasn't happened and you can just stay feet on the ground and just... Are you happy that things haven't changed so much? Because obviously we've seen so many stories of people who attain their goal. Obviously I know you haven't truly attained your goal, there's still another step to that, but they reach a pinnacle or they reach a mountain and then everything gets flipped 360. Are you happy that hasn't happened and you can just stay feet on the ground and just...
Well, I absolutely love fighting, and I know what it takes to win, and I like winning. So that's what I'm trying to do. The whole, like, quote-unquote celebrity stuff, it doesn't really interest me that much, to be honest. Like, it's good for a little bit. Then after like a day, I'm usually like overwhelmed with it, and I just want to go back to my routine and crack on with what I do. Like, I love training, I love martial arts, I love the guys in the gym, I love getting prepared for a fight, the event, fighting after. Like, I love that. It's not the day-to-day quote-unquote celebrity stuff that I really enjoy. So I just live life the same as it was 10 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Exactly the same.
And I know you like to keep your feet on the ground, and I know you don't like to reflect on achievements or whatever, but winning a heavyweight title in Madison Square Garden, where the likes of Mike Tyson, Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali have all fought and won, I mean, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot, but I've not really had time to like sit and think about it. I guess I'll do that when my career's done. I've seen something recently, and it was like some quote, and it was like, "You can't smell the roses on a galloping horse," and I agree. Like, I think that when my career's done, I've got more time to sit back and think what I've done. You know, at this point, I've been all over the world and fought some. I think I fought 5 or 6 guys in the top 10 at this point, and finished them. But I'll think about all that when it's done. For now, I've got a lot more work to do. I've just turned 31, and I'm really, really young for heavyweight. I think I'll be done probably in about 5 or 6 years, I don't know. But for right now, I've got some big fights ahead, so I'm just focusing on that.
5 or 6 years, you've already thought of that?
It's not something that I sit and think about.
Yeah.
When I've had enough, I'll know, and I'll throw the towel in. I'm not going to stick around too long. But ultimately, I'm loving it right now. I love martial arts, I love the day-to-day life, I love the training. My body's in good shape, so I'll just keep it on with it.
I respect and understand that, because obviously you're a dad of young kids as well.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be banged up fighting in late into your 40s, right?
Yeah.
You want to be as best and present as you can.
I mean, at this point, I've had quite a lot of fights, and I've not took much damage at all. Like, I've not took many big shots to the head, which is great. And if I can keep it that way and then retire, that would be optimal for me. That'd be the best thing.
Fair enough. And obviously the big news this week, UFC Manchester was confirmed. I mean, I knew it was coming, courtesy of my good friend Pete Carroll, who I'm sure is hounding you for information throughout the entire build-up. But now that it's confirmed, and I know that you've already said that you're going to be on the card, how excited are you to be fighting a stone's throw away from home?
Oh, very excited. Like, This is what I dreamed of my whole life, really. Obviously, I dreamed of mate. First of all, I dreamed of fighting in the UFC.
Yeah.
That's. I always saw myself as a UFC fighter. But as far as fighting in Manchester, in this new arena that they've done, yeah, it's incredible. I can't wait for that's a massive monument for me. It's like fighting at home. I've headlined the O2 3 times, so I fought home 3 times. Fighting in Manchester, my city, is different. So looking forward to it.
Will that top Madison Square Garden for you?
I mean, to be fair, mate, there's 2 places I wanted to fight. Being like a northern guy, London for a northern guy from a small town is like the other side of the world. Well, it used to be. I'm a bit more travelled now, but yeah, I always wanted to fight like at the O2 in London. Like I remember going and watching an event in London years ago, a UFC event, and it was like I was travelling to Mars, going to London. So I've headlined that 3 times. That's been a big dream for me. And then the other place I wanted to fight was Madison Square Garden. Done that. So anything extra is just a bonus.
It's all gravy, right?
Yeah.
So you added gravy.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, we're not sure if you're going to be headlining, right? But the last person to headline in Manchester was Michael Bisping in 2016. Where were you?
I was there.
Were you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe you must have been 4 or 5 fights deep into your career.
I'm not great with timelines, to be honest. I was definitely.
I know you fought 3 times in 2016.
I had a few fights.
Yeah,
definitely.
What was it like being there that night, and did you ever think of a scenario where it would be one day you
Yeah, of
making that
course.
walk?
I always saw myself in there, to be honest. I think if you're an MMA fighter and you don't, then you're not going to make it. Do you know what I mean? I saw it before anybody saw it. Yeah, that was a wild event. He fought on Mr. Silver. It was obviously like, oh no, sorry, he fought Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
It was a very dramatic fight. I remember he got dropped early and come back for the win. And yeah, I always saw myself doing that. And Bisping still to this day, mate, he's a role model for me. Me and Bisping are close friends now. In them days, Bisping didn't know I existed. Yeah, even now what he's doing post-career, he's someone I look up to, someone who gives me advice on a regular basis, so yeah, I'm constantly inspired by him.
I think in an ideal world, it would be Curtis Blaydes, because you could have that redemption arc, everything could come 360,
Absolutely.
and you can exercise the ghost of what happened in July 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm looking to do, if I could right that wrong before we move forward and unify the division, that would be ideal.
Let's say it is Curtis, and you're talking about righting the wrongs. What would it mean for you to do it in front of your friends and family? Your friends and family would say be at the O2 if it was to happen there.
Yeah.
But do it in front of your friends and family at home, where you openly admitted you went through the darkest period of your time, to exercise that ghost here, where you had to go not through the physical recovery, but also the mental.
Well, I just want to put that one to bed. It's not really about friends and family, to be honest. It's about me and Curtis, to be honest. I don't like to say it's personal, because it isn't. No fight for me is personal. I like Curtis as a person. We've spent a fair bit of time together. I actually really like him as a person. But professionally, there's a massive issue there, and it needs to be resolved with me frankly beating him up. That's the way it gets resolved. And like I say, I'm not trying to disrespect Curtis or anything like that. I couldn't have more respect for him on a personal level. But professionally, it needs to be resolved.
And professionally, something that needs to be resolved is this whole thing with Ciryl Gane, right? I don't know what's going on in this moment in time. I remember you flew to Paris to try get a fight, and in a gentlemanly way as well. You didn't make a big song and dance about it. You were just there, just reminding him, nudging him gently, look, I'm here. What have you? Apparently he's filming a movie. I don't know what's going on. So, what's your thoughts on this whole Ciryl Gane situation?
Again, I like Ciryl. We've spent a lot of time together. We've been on a few after parties and stuff together. He's a really cool guy. I don't like the way he does business though. I don't like the way he approaches the game of mixed martial arts. I don't like the way he ducks and dives and palms people off. And I know he came out recently and kind of replied to me and said, I've never ducked anyone. Well, the proof's there. The proof's there on multiple occasions that he is ducking people.
Curtis has said it himself.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pull. Ciryl does. He's massive in France. I've been there, I've experienced it myself. He brings numbers in, he brings money in. The UFC like him. I understand that. That means he gets a lot more pull than, unfortunately, guys like Curtis and other people. And I understand it's a business, you have to do what's right for money and views and etc. And he's a big name and I understand it, but for me, I want to prove I'm the best. I don't want to dodge and duck and dive people, and if he wants to do that, that's his prerogative. I understand that. Do I respect that? Not really. That's not how I do business, but if it's working for him, then who am I to argue?
Fair enough, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. I don't know if you've seen that Jon Jones, of course, is now officially back in training. He posted a photo of him back at Jackson Wink, which is interesting because I thought they had a falling out for a while. But what do you make of that, and does that like further fire underneath you?
I just think good luck to Jon, man. I don't really have much else to say at this point about Jon, to be honest. I feel like I've said enough. It's out there that I want to fight. I don't know what else I can do. Good luck to Jon with his fight with Steve Baker, and that's all I can say on it.
But did you not see that he recently opened the door to fighting you? He said like extending his career and.
I hope so. I hope so. But there's a lot more stuff to go down before then. So I have to fight. He has to fight. He has to see if his body holds up. We'll see where we're at after that. For now, it's just talk.
And final one, on this. Would you be content with your career if that fight didn't happen, considering how close it
absolutely, mate. Ultimately, I wanted to be the heavyweight champion. It doesn't really matter about Jon Jones. Like, it'd be nice, mate. It'd be a lovely cherry on the cake to have that scalp and get that experience. And you know, I'm a massive Jon Jones fan first and foremost. Like, just be awesome to experience that with Jon. But as Jon said himself, "Don't let me hold you back." And when he said that, he come out and said that in an interview, I thought, you know what, he's right. I'm not letting Jon hold me back. Like, he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. If we cross paths, I'll try my best to take him out, and it'll be a great experience.
You tried your best to get the reach.
I tried to do everything with Jon, and right now he's focused on Steve Baker, so I have to respect that and let him do his thing.
No, I completely get that. Talking about potential big scalps, you kind of poked the bear with Alex Pereira uncharacteristically.
With that pose.
I thought it was a good picture, mate, so I posted it, that's all.
Oh, come on, mate. Literally minutes after he's just headlined UFC 300.
Well, he said he was talking about moving up to heavyweight, wasn't he? So I just thought it was pretty fitting, that's all. Yeah, I mean, again, big fan of Alex. He's great fighter, a lot of power. Striking is great. He's really like hot right now. I really like his style. I think it makes for a great matchup.
Can you imagine that here, if like he did the short?
That would be something. Yeah, big fan of Alex is. I'm a big fan of everyone who fights. You know what I mean? But especially guys like Alex, Jon, etc., etc. Like that's in years to come when I've retired, looking back and thinking I fought them guys. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So you'd happily welcome to him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No question. I don't. You can ask anybody, mate, who's ever been involved with like my career. The UFC, brats, anybody. I don't say no to fights. I'm not the guy who's like, if I say no to fights, mate, in my opinion, I'm in the wrong sport. Like, I'm here to fight people, and that's it. And a lot of MMA fighters get twisted. They start going their own direction, start going celebrity route, and doing all this other stuff. Mate, I'm here to fight people, and that's what I want to do. That's what I enjoy doing. That's what I spent my life doing. And until I stop enjoying it, that's how I'll be spending my days, is training to fight people and eventually fighting them, and that's it.
Is that a mentality that's been instilled in you? I know he's off camera somewhere here by your dad.
Yeah.
Is that a mentality that he's instilled in you? Are you thankful for having that?
Oh yeah, I'm always thankful for Dad. Obviously, like I always say, if my dad turned around, if we were in the car on the way back from this interview now, my dad said to me, "Right, Tom, I think you've done enough now. I think you should leave it." I would just get on the phone to the UFC and retire. Honestly, I would do that. But at the same time, my dad can't like enjoy it for me. Like I have to enjoy it myself, and I love it. I love the sport. Absolutely love it. Like there's no better way that I'd spend my days than in gyms like this. With my friends and my teammates and my dad, and you know, I've got other family members who train as well.
Does your brother train?
Yeah, my brother trains as well. Even like my cousins train and everything. Like it's a whole family thing. And there's honestly, mate, there's nowhere else I'd rather be than in gyms every day training. I love it.
And I know you said beforehand that fighting in Manchester wouldn't necessarily be about your friends and your family, but given the fact that you are a local lad, to do this like with your dad who started you on this journey, it must be something special.
Oh, it's definitely big. Again though, it's not, my mindset is like very simple. Get an opponent, and I work towards them. Nothing else. Everything else is just like noise. I don't really listen to it at all. It's just going like in the background, and that's stuff like for other people. And maybe that's something that I'll tell my kids and grandkids when I'm retired.
Yeah.
But like as soon as I get a name, mate, and we sign a contract, that is it. Nothing else really matters. I've said publicly a couple of times, I'm going. No interviews, I'm going, no phone, I'm ditching my phone for the first time this training camp, and I'm going to the gym and back for 12 weeks, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else, and I'm focusing on my opponent and what I need to do to beat my opponent, and that's it. Nothing else really matters.
And again, I don't mean to harp on the friends and family angle, but there's added pressure.
Oh yeah, mate.
The added pressure, like
Oh yeah, obviously, like friends and family have come down to London with the train. Like I just did the train today. It's like 2-3 hours or whatever. But having it literally on your doorstep, like how are you going to manage that pressure?
Well, I've headlined the O2 3 times. This is obviously in the UK. It's a big deal, man. Like headlining in your own country, it's a big deal. I'm not saying I'm going to headline this time. I don't know if it's going to be all Leon, but
people don't click that off. Yeah.
yeah. But it's a big deal either way. It's something that I'm just going to have to adjust to. Each fight out makes bigger and bigger, more pressure and more pressure and more pressure. Like, believe it or not, flying to New York on 2 weeks' notice in a fight that everyone thinks I'm going to lose is actually quite easy mentally in comparison to like fighting on a home event in front of everybody you know. I always try and block that stuff out, but like it's in there somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like it comes to fruition as fight week builds. It's like the thoughts start creeping in, and I guess just experience. Like this is my 4th time main eventing at home. If it's a main event, 4th time fighting at home, and I'm quite good at blocking that stuff out. So I'll continue to do that hopefully.
Well, I'm sure you will manage that. Tom Aspinall, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, mate.